What's happening, you epic people? I thought I'd do a little video today from an owner's perspective as to why I love my street triple. And the reason for that is, if you've watched my last video, you'll see that I've been talking about possibly trading up, maybe going for something a little bit bigger. If you haven't seen it yet, I'll pop it up the top. But what my purpose of today is, because I haven't actually done one yet on the channel, is just a review of my street triple, why I love it, and why I think you would love it too. What I'll do, I'll take you on a ride out, and I'll show you why I love it while I'm on the bike, what it can do. So without further ado, let's get on the bike and cue the intro. Peace. So why did I get a street triple? Well, I got a street triple because all my riding life and before that, I was always obsessed with riding sport bikes and watching sport bikes, you know, real hooligan stuff or Moto GP stuff. So before this, I actually had a Yamaha R6, the 5SL, and it was a fantastic bike. Absolutely loved it. But it wasn't really a bike where you could put loads of miles on, chill out, sit upright. And because the style of that riding, very much unlike this, to really get the most out of a sport bike, you need to be up in the rev range, you know, 8, 9, 10 grand plus. You know, really screaming the nuts out of it, just to hit that power band. Now, don't get me wrong, it was a lot of fun for, you know, hitting the motorways and getting those speeds and flicking through twisties and whatnot, but it doesn't quite have the same characteristics as this. So with the street triple, it's more about low-end torque, so instant power when you need it. It is not to say that sport bikes don't have that power, but it's just not the same. This bike really is just a really nice, comfortable place to be. Now with this, you're not leaned on your wrists like you are with sport bikes. So what's this bike like to ride? In one word, it's perfect. When I say it's perfect, I mean it does exactly what you want it to do. If you want to crunch some miles, it's comfortable. You can sit in this seat for hours on end and not feel, you know, too cramped, too, you know, you're not leaning on your wrist, your arsehole's not getting numb for one, which is brilliant. So really combining that comfort with the torque that it just picks up whenever you want. So see here, I'm in 6th gear at 4,000 RPM. If I just give it a little pull, very, very predictable. It could always get you out of some trouble quick enough, but it's not lightning quick that it scares the living daylights out of you. Obviously, unless you're inexperienced, but then if you was to give the throttle on any bigger bike, it's gonna obviously give you a bit of a woof sort of moment. But from the day I actually got on this bike, I instantly just felt connected to it, and I'm sure any other street triple rider will tell you the exact same thing. Just one of those bikes that just you're instantly in tune with, and people just love them. You know, you ride past people and they instantly look at it. It's parked up, people are staring at it, younger and older crowd. So when I say the younger crowd, obviously they're going to hear the exhaust tones and they're going to think, oh God, that sounds like a beast. When it's from an older generation, they see the words Triumph and it instantly makes them think of the heritage of the bike. The heritage behind them is the fact that they really do care about their bikes. And they do want to suit absolutely everybody. You know, whether you're into your classics, whether you're into your sport, whether you're into your learner bike. So you've now got the Triumph Trident, which is perfect for that. So it is really a company you can certainly put some trust in. And the sounds that just come out of this thing. So not only the exhaust tones, but that induction noise is very, very addictive. That whistle that you can hear is just absolutely perfect. I love it. Very, very addictive, very distinctive to Triumph. So what's it like in the twisties? I'm going to use that word again, perfect. It's on the dial, it does everything you need to do. I'm going to take you down the road in a minute, which has plenty of little twists and turns, just so you can see exactly what I mean. But it's definitely a bike you can just rely on to do exactly what you need it to do, when you need it to do it. Now, I've owned this bike for a year, and usually what I get like with anything, mostly, you know, with vehicles, I'm very quick to chop and change them. Just because, not that I get bored easily, but I just want to try other things. And having said that, after a year, I do find it very, very hard to let go of this one, and I'm sure any triple rider will understand that one. It's the reason why in the last video, when we talking about possibly trading up, I actually went and test rode a BMW S1000XR. Very nice, it shifts very well. Oh shit, that's right, it's oh yeah, it's quick shifter. I forgot about that. The only thing is, obviously I'd have to, if I'd owned this, I'd definitely have to lower it a little. And as you can see, I wasn't the most comfortable with it because of its height, which I'm sure I could get used to. And you know, you can get lowering kits and things like that, and I've been talking to other people on the in the comment section. Thank you very much, QTube and Carl, thank you very much, dude. As much as I really wanted to make that choice to swap, I realized just how happy I am with this thing. And as you can see, it picks up speed very, very easy. Easy for overtakes and easy for everything else. Anyway, I digress, sorry. I was talking about really why I didn't want to trade up, and it's just because it is my bike. You know, I didn't really feel like that with the R6. I was, you know, I enjoyed it and it was good fun, but I didn't feel like it was, you know, attached to me. I didn't feel like it was my flagship, like it was just for me personally. I felt like I was always ready to just get rid of it. So really, what's it like in the bends? Well, let me show you. Predictable is the best word for it. It's on the dial. It dips in very well. The brakes are perfect for it. And pair it with the right tyres, which I actually have some Pirelli Angel GTs, some sport touring tyres, just so I can put a few miles on it, don't wear out so quick, but also so it's good in the wet and the dry, which I've never really had a problem with in the wet or the dry. And that was on, what was I on before? Avons. And I'll admit, they were okay. They're fine, I never outgrew them. I don't think I personally will outgrow many tyres. Anyway, I digress, back onto the talk of what's it like in the bends. There's plenty of roomy up the top here, so you can shuffle yourself around. I just love it. And who wouldn't? And because it's upright, you're not constantly leaning on your wrist, making yourself feel uncomfortable. And it never gets bent out of shape, and the torque's already there, ready to exit out of the bend on the dial whenever you want it to. It's just epic. I absolutely love it. So in a word, I'm not going to get rid of it. And I believe anybody who gets one will be feeling the exact same thing as me. They won't want to get rid of it. And I don't blame them. If you haven't had a chance to try one yet, it's definitely worth getting down to a Triumph dealership. Maybe try one of the newer models. Because they've got all the electronics, whereas this only has really ABS, but you don't need all this fancy electronics. As nice as they are, if your riding is spot on, or at least practicing great techniques, then you don't need all those fancy gizmos. They're just nice to have. And so with the brakes, how well do they perform? Well, same thing again, on the dial, those big 806mm disc at the front, with the radial brake caliper setup is just, those Nissan brakes are absolutely perfect. Plenty of stopping power and have definitely got me out of a spot of bother once or twice. Not that you should have to always get yourself out of a spot of bother, but it's nice to know that if you have to, they're there. And the ABS will kick in and give you a good hand. Man, that triple whistle is just epic. And the best thing about this bike power-wise is you can always use up all 105 brake horsepower because it wants you to. Because let's get realistic. Sport bikes and big power machines, as cool as they are, you never really get to use all of it. But at least with this, you really do feel like you can. So what about its weight? And how does that come into it when it comes to flicking it around the twisties and whatever? It's 189 kilos. So it's not overly a heavy bike. It's easy enough to maneuver around, and especially in car parks and things like that, you don't really feel like you're having to wrestle it, which was kind of one of the selling points with the S1000XR that I rode, which, yes, it was lovely, but could I imagine myself pulling it out of my garage every day? So that, like with my garage, I'm on it's actually on a hill like this. So pulling this in and out every day is no bother really. Whereas if I was to say go for something much, much bigger, maybe I might come a little unstuck. Which I don't particularly want to do. You know, the thought of every day pulling your bike in and out of a garage and nearly dropping it, which I'm sure I would get used to it. Most definitely. But for now, my street triple keeps my heart. So if there is anything I haven't mentioned about the street triple on this video, like I said, it's not meant to be an in-depth nerdy review about specs and stats and whatnot. It's just more of from an owner's perspective about what I think and what I think you would love about it. But it's one of them bikes that you can watch as many videos on it as you like, you can hear as many reviews as you like, and talk to as many people as you like about it, but until you actually get on one, you cannot be too certain as to what people are talking about. When I say these things have a huge following, they really do. They're a very well-loved machine. And if you get on one, you will know the reason why. They are, as I say, in a word, perfect. So my plan will be going forward with this thing is I will be keeping the bike. Has he seen me? I will be keeping the bike, and what I'll probably do is just keep it and add to my collection. I will have this, I will have another, probably a bigger adventure bike maybe, or even more of a hooligan toy. I haven't quite decided yet, but in my head I've already made up my mind into wanting something that's a bit more bigger, upright, ready for traveling, but I'm sure I can make this work in the meantime. So it'll probably be a while yet until you see a new bike on the channel. And for anybody who loves your street triples, I'm sure you won't want to see anything else. Anyway, my dudes, thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't yet, hit that like and subscribe. I always say it really helps out the channel. I'm not in this to make money. I'm in this to spread the good word, network with other riders, and help out newer riders into improving their riding daily and making better choices for their ride. Having grown up around plenty of my mates where the education just wasn't there back then, it was just more of a case of, you know, you get on it and you find out and you generate good common sense for it, which, okay, it helped out a lot of us. Unfortunately, lost a couple of pals along the way. You know, that is the name of the game, and it would be better if we could minimize that risk as best as possible. So keep hitting that like and subscribe. Let's keep getting the word out there. Let's help out all these other riders to become better riders. All right, then, my guys, I will catch you all in the next one. You're all epic. Peace out.